Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here today. We're going to take a quick look at KuCoin. And just before we do, we usually look at Bitcoin, but I can tell you it's kind of just sticking around 61, 62,000 for the moment. We're under the 50-day simple moving average, and it's essentially just kind of trying to break to the upside. Still making higher highs and higher lows, but it's still kind of just lagging behind. But regardless, that's kind of the state of the union there. Pretty standard stuff for Bitcoin. Thank you so much for joining me here, by the way. If you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, this is for educational purposes only. And my role here is to hopefully help facilitate a learning environment to help you become a better trader, right? I love teaching people how to trade, and I love trading myself. So it just kind of works out very well. And I actually have an amazing group of patrons that are part of my trading community / signal group. I send out signals for every single trade that I take, and I help you become better traders, right? So check that out in your own time. There's a limited amount of slots available, and the price will be increasing next month. So just a heads up on that. Regardless, this is KuCoin here. So let's go ahead and see what's going on. It's been a long time coming. Cro's been trying to break 25 cents or 24 and a half for a very long time. In fact, I had some Cro staked quite a while ago, so it's kind of cool to see this take off for a change. Just kind of his little side project there. So let's go ahead and see. First of all, let's go ahead and mark the previous resistance. So the previous one-day close was right at about 24 cents, 24 and a half. And obviously we broke that here. So the last, what, three trading days, including today, we broke above there and we've made new highs. Now, obviously the all-time high was right at about 27 cents. We can mark that as well, just as a secondary support, but I don't think we're gonna need to worry about that too much. I feel like it's gonna kind of leave that in the dust, but we'll see here soon what happens. Now, looking at some of the more traditional indicators, right? Let's just go ahead and take a look at the moving averages. Obviously, the price is well above the 50 and the 200. RSI is over 70 right now, but the common rule of thumb, again, watch my RSI video. You don't want to just sell as soon as the RSI comes up over 70. You might want to consider selling when the price is starting to come back down closer to 70, or wait, of course, to see if the RSI at 70 works as a support level. It's a pretty common characteristic in a bull trend, bull market right now. So you can see when the price comes up over 70, it came right back down, and the same thing before. So generally speaking, Cro does not have a good history of making sharp increases. They're typically followed by a sharp decrease. So if we understand that background for KuCoin, then you can maybe understand where it might go here in the near future. Obviously, it keeps pushing higher and higher, but there could be a limit there, and it might reverse soon. But again, general rule of thumb, price over 70, wait for the price to start coming back closer to 70 on the RSI, and that's typically a better selling point, right? But I would certainly consider, if I were you, to take some profits. I've already done so as well. I took profits right about 38 cents just before I started this video, just to ensure that I get, some money back, I guess you could say. I'm basically playing with free money, for lack of better terms, right? Because I've already doubled my investment. There's no need to have to, get too greedy. So I'm just going to let the rest ride out and maybe just set some profit targets, right? Based on Fibonacci retracement. So we'll take a look at that, of course, here in a moment, but just let's quickly note TD sequential. We are at a 9 plus 2. So simply put, we can see here previously, if you're familiar at all with TD sequential, we've got a, count up to a 9, nice consolidation, count it back up to a 9, no consolidation, right? So this little leg up is all well and good. It's nice. It's fantastic. And we got that extra 6 cents. That's probably a very large percent for some of you. But the problem is the price is essentially still going up. And the fact that we have this state of exhaustion in the last, 9 4-hour candlesticks, that's basically saying that, hey, this price needs to either retrace or go sideways soon, okay? So if it doesn't do either, it's going to keep going up. But the higher it goes up, right, the quicker it's going to come down, and it has a history of doing that. So just again, respect that, and maybe move your stop loss up higher as it continues to increase, right? Just, be safe, try not to get too greedy. But again, I recognize that it's been like, forever since this one took off, right? We've been probably waiting for it for a long time. At least I know I was. Got that nice tease at 24 cents, and then it just kind of just got stuck in a pretty low place for a while. Either way, that's neither here nor there. So TD sequential is basically telling us we're at a state of exhaustion, right? We should see the price go sideways or retrace soon. That's what should happen. But why don't we just go ahead and see how much gas is left in the tank here. If it does decide it wants to leg up and kind of just keep going, we'll see here what that looks like, right? So just big picture, kind of just jumping right in. We're looking at about 57 cents as a potential. If this were just to kind of keep going, if it were to 2x its current starting point to top point. In other words, this amount of movement, if we were to double that movement, right, it would put us right at about 53, 54 cents. And then we got this extra little buffer. That's like the plus one, so to speak, at 57. So I think 57 cents is an absolute best case scenario before we see a significant retracement. If this continues on the same track that it's doing right now, if it doesn't, I would prefer that. I'd like to see the price kind of consolidate, maybe go sideways from where it's at presently, and maybe just kind of hang out around what 35, or dip down even down to 31, 33 cents would be perfectly fine. But the place in which it's at right now, it just keeps going up, which again, I like to celebrate that. That's fantastic. But the likelihood of it coming back down is fairly high based on its history and how hard it's hitting right now. So don't be bashful to take some profits. I took 50% myself personally, and I don't feel bad about it at all. That's a very good actual amount, right? All things considered. Again, depends on how much you invest. All right, anyways, moving on. Let's take a look at the 1 hour chart and kind of see what's going on. Let's get rid of this guy here so we can kind of see what's going on. And obviously we can tell, the price is above the cloud. The cloud kind of sort of worked as a support level here. It basically bounced. It got stuck in this little resistance channel between 24 and 27. Once it broke above, this is a common characteristic. Look at this. The price broke above resistance, comes up, very common. It comes up to test as hard as it can go. Usually it stops out, then it comes down and bounces off of support. Right? That previous resistance became a support, and now it's moving up. That's a very common characteristic. So pay attention to that when you see an all-time high broken, it'll come up. If it comes down and essentially bounces or stays above support, that's green light, good to go. Solana did the same thing recently. We took entry at 200, went up to 250 for a nice little, simple profit. Actually, correction, it was like 215 up to 250, but it was still all-time high, broke the all-time high, jumped above, dipped down, bounced, and continued up. Granted, that was a cup and handle pattern, but the bottom line, it still applies to pretty much all trading. You see it happen quite frequently. So, okay, look at this here. So we got upwards of about almost 40 cents. Now it's retracing a little bit to 39. I think that's healthy. That's good. We want to see that on TD sequential here as well in the 1 hour chart. This little bull run here, the last 9 hours, correction, the last 13 hours, we've got 4 hours of overtime. So anytime you see 4 candlesticks after a 9 that are still increasing, that's extremely high. That's basically outside of the standard deviation lines. So we're going to probably see the price retrace soon. Again, I hope that happens. Only reason because if it doesn't, it's going to come crashing down super hard, and we need to have a state of consolidation to be able to see this kind of go sideways, right? So anyways, in order for this to continue up to just say, $1 someday, it can't keep doing what it's doing right now, if that makes any sense. And in fact, let's take a quick look at the 1 day chart. Same thing on the 1 day chart too. TD sequential is basically telling us on every single time frame we have a maxed out potential, right? It's trying to get greedy. Perhaps 40 cents may not be the cap, but it's definitely going to be one of the higher points here in the near future soon. But what I want to get at here is just to kind of point this out. Now, this isn't exactly 3 white soldiers. We kind of have a dip in there, but commonly speaking, if you look up 3 white soldiers on candlestick charts, you'll see there's 3 long candlesticks in a row. It's either 3 days in a row or 3 weeks in a row. And what that basically just means is when we see that happen 3 days in a row, or just say 3 weeks in a row, Bitcoin did the same thing recently. It went up 3 weeks solid, 3 solid candlesticks. And then the 4th candlestick is always red. So my speculation here is we're going to see a pretty solid 1 day red candlestick tomorrow. If not, well, it probably wouldn't be today because this 1 day candlestick, we still got about 10 hours left of trading. However, the bottom line is that we'll see a retracement, and then tomorrow we should definitely see a red day because there's that take profit zone that a lot of whales will take. And I can guarantee you we're not the only ones owning this coin. So just big picture, that's kind of what you're looking at there. We might see a retracement based on that sentiment as well, considering we have 4 solid days of increase, even though it's kind of like we skipped a day here, right? But still, yeah, not bad. This is all good things. I love the fact that it's finally taken off, but just be smart. Worst case scenario, you take profits now, the price comes down, bounces off of like a support level of 27 cents, for example, and then we get to add back to our position. We take our profits, we add to our position, price goes up again. You can rinse and repeat that action. That's what I commonly do myself with a majority of the signals I send. My first profit target, I take 50 to 80% of my profits, and then I add to my position when the price comes back down and retraces. Again, this is at a state of exhaustion on every single time frame. We have to respect that, and you need to be able to, admit the fact that it may not go much higher, right? If it does, just be ready for it to come crashing down, okay? All right, so moving forward, I would recommend setting your stop loss somewhere in the range between 24 and 27, but I think there's a strong likelihood if the price does retrace, 27 will be a firm bounce, just based on it being the previous all-time high. And again, based on Fibonacci retracements, if we were to look, just say, for example, we might just want to quickly mark these here for you. So about 35 cents could be a support. We may see a support right around 32 cents. But I'd venture to guess, as per usual, the halfway mark, the 0.5 on Fibonacci, we're looking at probably about 30 cents as a realistic center point where the price will come down and bounce off 30 cents. If it doesn't bounce off 30 cents, we lose that support, but then we can definitely expect 27 to be the secondary alternative to that. Okay. So again, all good things here for Crow. We just got to make sure that we're mindful and respectful of what's actually going on right now, because it is a bit on the overextended side. There's no other way around it. So hopefully you found benefit here today. If you do, like and subscribe. If you didn't, that's okay too. But feel free to consider joining my Patreon community. I actually have a really cool trading community where we all learn and grow together. I'm teaching people how to trade, and it's a really fun thing. More importantly too, I send out signals for every single trade that I take, and you can just one-click follow with the trading bot. It's a pretty awesome experience. So check that out in your own time, of course. I have a descriptive video somewhere around here. Link in the description below, I guess, as well. We'll look forward to seeing the next video. We'll keep a closer look on Crow here moving forward too, just based on its movement. I've got a lot of requests for this one recently. I'll make sure we consistently analyze this one. So all right, so thank you so much for your time. We'll look forward to seeing the next video. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Take care.